Hey, real estate besties. Today is Tuesday, and around here, that means that we are answering your burning questions. Now, I don't care if it's about a deal that you're working, just a question on how to organize something in your business, or if you just want to dish with your good real estate bestie. I am here to answer your questions. Now, if you have a question, head on over to rosemarylewis.com/ask, and you will be able to leave a voicemail and I will answer your question on the podcast. Let's get into our question for today.
I had to have a little coming to Jesus with one of my clients, but they're under contract now. Time buyer, pretty much wasting my time, not taking it serious, and then listening to everybody else. So it's like I got him, and I got his mama, his brother, sister telling him, "Oh no, you don't need a home inspection. Oh, you need this person, you need that person." I'm just like, "Hey, let me do my job. I'm trying to help you out here. Let me do my job."
Let's unpack that a little bit, because I do think that that is like one of the non-glamorous parts of what we get to do is having these tough conversations, right? And I think this is like Don kind of spoke to it, and I hear you saying it too. Sometimes when we have clients that it seems like are like intent on going against what our advice is, sometimes that can feel personal. Are you personally thinking that I'm not doing everything that I can, to lead you and to guide you in the right direction? And those are sometimes some difficult conversations to have. So my first question, and anybody can answer this, is what is your process when you need to have, and this can relate to real estate or just life, what's your process when you need to have a difficult conversation with somebody?
For me, difficult conversations are not through email and they are not through text. I'm picking up the phone and I'm going to call you. And a lot of my people, they don't live here as well. So if I can't meet them in person, which I would actually prefer, come to my office, maybe we need to go through this buyer consultation again. And so I can explain what my job duties are again. But as far as difficult conversations, pick up the phone.
Let's just talk about best practice before we even have a difficult conversation. So number one, we got to get our mindset up. Understanding that, because like I said, sometimes when you're having a difficult conversation or you are meeting resistance, it's easy to take it personal. And sometimes that's not the person's intent. So I'll give you an example, Karsha, and I'm nowhere near in it, but the person's uncle who's telling him that he don't need an inspection, he not thinking yeah, let me sell him this so I can piss his realtor off, right? He's just giving advice based on his level of experience. And that's all that's what people do. We all can give advice based on our level of experience. And sometimes when we have opposing things, and especially when the experience you bring to the table is the expertise in this subject, and I know that what they're telling you isn't right. Sometimes it's easy to take that personal. So the first thing, y'all, is when you have a difficult conversation, I want you to the worst thing we can do is just jump into the conversation, right? Oh, hello, Tyrone. No. Okay. First thing is best practice. Take some time to think. Thinking is an underrated skill that most people don't do. How many times you see somebody, you're like, that was pretty dumb what they did. It's because they didn't think about it. They just started acting. And that's something that what Ablavi is saying, coming solution oriented, but it's hard to come solution oriented if automatically this thing happens, we immediately go on the defensive and we react. So the first thing is just taking some time to process through and try to process it through from a few different perspectives, right? You have your perspective as the real estate professional, but let me take it from my buyer's perspective, right? They're asking me this question because their family member who's been a part of their life for their whole life is giving them something opposing. And I have to respect the fact that they have history. There is a different level of trust built in that relationship, even though the family member may not really know what they're talking about here. They're not just trying to discredit me, okay? So looking at it from different perspectives. And as you're looking at it from different perspectives, even if this isn't the other person's intention, because we are not here to mind read, we just gonna believe the best about them, right? I'm gonna believe the best about your uncle, even though he lives at your grandma's house and he don't know nothing. And I'm just gonna say, like, you know what, he really is trying to look out for his nephew. And I would tell my client that, like, you know what, I completely understand that your uncle loves you and they're just looking out for your best interests and they don't want you to spend any money that is unnecessary, right? And trust me, I don't either. But let's think about it this way, right? And this is where you can get the options. You can choose not to get the home inspection because of blah, 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 and everything will be fine. Or you can choose not to get the home inspection and then find out later down the road that there was a serious defect with the property that could cost thousands upon thousands of dollars. Whereas this small investment with the inspection can, it's like your security to know that we're going into this without anything major going on, or if there is, we have an opportunity to talk to the seller, right? Because just like your uncle, I want the best for you too, right? And you can look at, I don't know, a real estate agent, like I would be doing you a disservice by not suggesting that we do this, but I want to see it from your point of view. So having that moment of pause, reminding yourself, first of all, who you are. This is why, look, if you don't have a morning quiet time where you're talking to God every day, put that on your to-do list, because these real estate streets will test your gangster, your Jesus, your DC, your ATL. It will test all your marbles. So having some time to still yourself and to think, like take a deep breath, think rationally. Okay, and now how can I say this? And then I have a scripture, Colossians 4:6. Let your words be seasoned like salt, so that they are pleasing to the one who receives them. Anytime I need to have a difficult conversation, or honestly any conversation, okay, Lord, how can I word this? And that's why I wanted y'all to look at that book, exactly what to say. Because sometimes it's not what we say, it's how we say it that can make the difference. And I love, Karsha, that you said that you always pick up the phone. You want to have these conversations face to face. Video messages are good because people lose stuff in translation all the time. My husband was just telling me about my son, like something that my 23-year-old son did. But as my husband's telling me the story, he's telling it to me in his mama voice. And I'm thinking, like, our son don't even sound like that. He ain't never sound like that a day in his life, right? But my husband, you know what I'm saying, he's interpreting it, it's going through his filter. So he is taking what my son said and he's putting it through a filter that my son didn't even, I know that that's not his voice. So I love that you are picking up the phone. And I know, y'all, it's easier to send a text. It's easier to, and I don't care, even if the bad news don't have nothing to do with me, I'm never gonna call you or text you and tell you we didn't get the house. What? I'm never about to text you and tell you, you know what I'm saying, that the contract fell out, or, oh, we thought you got approved for $350, but it's $290. Like, no. We need to pick up the phone. We need to do a temperature check, and we need to talk through and like Ablavi said, provide solutions. So if it is your go-to, I'm telling y'all right now, if you ever get my phone number, if you text me a book, you might as well never, I'm never reading that long stuff. I'm never reading it. Call me, voicemail me. And the same thing with our clients. Like, they need to hear our cadence, hear how you're delivering it, and that removes the blocker of the filter that other people are going to put on it. Okay? And don't be discouraged. Be encouraged. Listen to that song. No matter what's going on. If you would like to ever submit your own question to the podcast, go ahead and hit us up at rosemarylewis.com/ask, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye now.